presentation or this lecture or workshop is to help us translate our ideas. We've had a lot of panel sessions and discussions around legal technology and products. And one thing is there is an idea, and there should be a pathway to take ideas to becoming products, and products to become solutions. Solutions become services, and services become revenue streams for the companies, right? So, a bit brief background about myself. My name is Anthony. I am a product manager. I have a degree in law, and I currently work at AfriHealth, a telemedicine platform. We connect doctors to clients, and pretty much because it's a legal tech event. So to make it, can you hear me? So ideas are not hard to have. I mean, you can think about anything. Think about taking a goldfish to a river or think about any other thing. But I want someone, if anyone can just give me biggest challenge translating an idea to a product. The funding is part of it. I mean, you need cash. Anybody else?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Momchia, lawyer in the morning, tech bro in the in the afternoon or in the evening. Okay, so I would say from my own experience, the greatest challenge would be well designing, because you could have something in your head and then you try to design and you launch and you discover that that's not even what people want. So I think designing it could be one issue I've experienced. Thank you.
Some of the responses. So the biggest for me, I agree with you totally. So I also have my own contribution. A challenge in translating an idea to a product is something that I call validation, right? In Lean Startup Methodology, there is this thing by Eric Rice. I don't know if you've read the book Lean Startup Methodology. There's a concept called validation, right? And the biggest challenges that products or startups have is validating these ideas, and that's where an MVP comes into play. So a minimum viable product is a part of your product, not maybe the minutest, but that part of your product that has with a core and essential element or components that helps you to validate that your idea works, right? It's a validating tool. So picture you have a solution, a legal product that you, or an idea to automate document processing, right? And this is your idea. And you want to understand whether users will pay for this, whether there will be retention, whether people will want to use it on and on again. And you mentioned, one of the panelists mentioned about repeat business, right? Whether there will be a repeat business in this, your idea. And a big way to validate this is using an MVP. So I will just go with my slides to make it very straightforward, so I don't talk so much. So what is a minimum viable product? According to my presentation here, a minimum viable product is the most basic version of a product that includes all of the essential features, like I mentioned, needed to validate the core concept with early users. Its purpose is to ensure that the product solves the real problem, confirms there's an interest and demand in the market, and focus on core functionalities to minimize development costs. All of these are big grammar. To simplify this, and a minimum viable product is that aspect of your product that enables you to learn about your market. If you want me to go over it again, it's that aspect of your product that allows you to learn about your market. So why would you build an MVP in the first place, right? What is the need for an MVP? Why won't you just go live into the market with your full product? Um, One of them is to reduce risk, right? Um, in the Lean Startup framework, there's what I call leaps of faith, as well as hypothesis. So, what's a leap of faith? A leap of faith is that if I come to Lagos with my idea to sell Ankara in Balogun market, I'm very sure that I will sell. Have I sold any product before coming to Lagos? No. But that leap of faith is saying, if I come to Balogun market, because there's a lot of commerce happening in Balogun market, if I come with my Ankara fabrics, I will definitely sell. But there's a high possibility that, or maybe a probability that I won't sell, right? So those are hypotheses, and hypothesis is also closely with leap of faith. But um, in all of this, you need to validate, and the risks involved is that you can incur costs, you can, impute developmental costs, hire best talent, take your time, take stress, code and code and code, and then when you launch, no one uses your product, and that's where you get into that loop of what am I doing, and then they call with your concept of called startup pivot. But before we get there, you need to actually validate it. And one thing an MVP does for you is to reduce the risk. Then another thing that an MVP does for you is to gather insights. So I currently, aside AfriHealth, I'm managing a no-code solution called TaylorDom. So TaylorDom is like your Webflow and your Webflow. If you people create website, no-code solution. So what we do is we don't allow you to write any line of code. We just build a website using templates. So one thing that we're doing now, because we are trying to push the MVP to the market, is to gain insights. So a minimum viable product helps you test it with your beta users, they test your product, you get to know which of your features you need to sunset, which you need to maintain, which you need to adjust, right? And the way you can actually deliver this product to users and the way they appreciate them. So when you launch an MVP, most times you launch it to beta users, right? People on your wait list, or people who you have also gathered to test your product. Now they tell you, oh, I don't like this feature. Oh, I do not like this thing. Oh, the speed of your solution is slow. I'm not able to create the website I wanted to create perfectly. Or let's bring it to LegalTech. You launch a case management system, and that case management system, you go to the product, you launch the product to lawyers, and lawyers are saying, I cannot document, or I cannot gather insight into these cases. I cannot there's no way to actually, get these cases when I need them. This functionality of this product is poor. I don't like the speed. And you as a founder, you as a product manager, that's your insight you need to work on. Whether you build a new feature, whether you kill that feature, or whether you adjust, right? So you need an MVP to gain insight. Then another solution that helps you or another reason why you should build an MVP is to iterate quickly. Now, iteration is more or less say, we have gained insights. Now, this has inspired our move to do. So we have done X, learned about what users need about X. Now we can build Y. So, for example, if I'm building, I've managed a legal tech called LexLance. It was like a project, but it's not like mainstream, or like Rigor Plus and the rest. But one thing that LexLance did for us is that we built a marketplace model to connect lawyers to clients. And we know that there's what I call network effect. So if there's no lawyer, or if there are no clients, lawyers won't get jobs, right? If there are no lawyers, clients won't be served. So there needs to be that network effect between the lawyers and the client. And that has to happen all the time. And for you to make your money off the platform, if you're using a commission-based model, you have to basically ensure that network effect keeps going on. So We tried, right? And one thing with people who have tried marketplace model, you know that in Nigeria, you have to then start competing with the law firms, all right, who have the clientele. You have to say, okay, how much are you paying lawyers? How much will these lawyers charge? You know, who are the businesses that will come? Will an SME not want to go to maybe JLIs or go to and come to Lexlands? So having gained that insight, now Lexlas is no longer a marketplace model, right? They have basically tried to learn with us insights to now iterate, meaning they can change what they have, they can improve on the idea or the product concept and ensure that it fits into the market. You can learn faster and fail forward if you even have to fail. Then another thing that an MVP does for you is to save resources, right? I've run a startup when I was in third year school. I don't know what got into my and my friend's head. We were pure law students doing criminal law, decided to do something in blockchain because maybe we could trade crypto at that time. So we felt like we were cheese, and then we started blockchain. Now, what do we want to do? We wanted to do something bigger than us. We have not graduated. We wanted to tokenize real estate, right? To offer fractional ownership of real estate assets, co-leasing, co-funding, and co-rental. We made small money. I was writing for a crypto exchange, so we scattered our money together. That was what made me broke in my entire life. All right, we got hired engineers, hired stuff like we did marketing. If that product today, although I'm not longer with the guy, is now like an edtech doing something different. But what thing we wasted our time all through 1 year plus. I was supposed to reading, doing everything. I know I live in Abuja, so we'll go for events to event, go for incubators. Wanted to hire a lawyer that we don't know. They told us $2,000. I will pay. Be a legal advisor. All those things. Actually, everything now. Just you reading your bank statement, and you know what? You just keep it as your dream. You didn't launch that product. Why? You had no technical knowledge. That in, that in demands a lot of blockchain systems like Oracle, because you need to do some. You know, blockchain is very complex, right? So you have to impute a trustless system, you know, and a lot of programming and blockchain programming is not your front end, back end, Node.js, Next.js, or all this your programming language. You're dealing with Solidity, you're dealing with Rust. These are advanced programming languages that in Nigeria part of your skin, no food, no pool body, that kind of thing. So yeah, so an MVP helps you to save resources, right? You need to save resources. It helps you to know that okay, we can't do this. Right? Instead of being a fool and continue to be at 40, actually you can save your foolishness, you know, in an early time and use your money to do something better that will scale. So that's one of the things an MVP does for you. So what should an MVP tell you? Now we're talking about an MVP, a minimum viable product. So what does it tell you as a founder, as a product manager, as an entrepreneur, or anyone who has an app? So it should actually, I termed it a tree wheel, right? Is user engagement, assumption validation, and market demand. So for example, when I did like a VC fellowship, you know, catalyzer. So one thing investors look at, as the other guy mentioned, was repeat business, right? And you want seeing that, you know, sometimes the Nigerian startup system, you see that a lot of startups fail, all right? You see a lot of startups shut down, a lot of factors. But one of the issues that face startups is actually market fit, right? Um, Market fit because they build a lot of products. Most people don't have that knowledge to actually know that you must not actually build tech to actually get market fit, right? Um, okay, I think I will talk about this. An MVP must not be an app, right? It must not be a web app. It must not be a mobile app. So what most people do is they want an idea. It should be an app. One idea, it should be an app. And then you hire your friends and you guys build an app and you put yourself founder, LegalX app, and the trail is keeping you going. Then once you launch, you know that you're doing rubbish, you shut down. That's all. But it's not supposed, it's not meant, it's not every product that must be an app. I think I'm going with that view because If, for example, I want to support businesses with, okay, let me do something else. I want to ensure that every person here understands how to manage their money better, and I want to help them with resources. I can open Notion. You know, Notion is an application. I don't know if people use Notion, but if you're working, you use Notion. You can gather these resources and then share to people. Now, if people are satisfied with that resource, you share them. You can actually use to say open a WhatsApp group, as basic as a WhatsApp group. Gather everybody inside, share the resources. If please, what's your name? If Emmanuel comes, if Vicky comes, what's your name? Sorry, Mom. Oh, interesting. See, if three of them come on and on and on and on again, you have a business, right? And people are able to pay for it. So if I take those resources I'm using to gather enough insight to start building an app, it takes me 6 months to build an application. I do quality assurance. I do all of those things. I launch. It's still that same money that a WhatsApp group will fetch me is what I'm trying to get an app to do for me. Do you understand? So before you think about let's build an application, you have to ask yourself one question. What is this app solving for me? Is it making me scale better? Right? Is this application making me scale better from where I am? Or have I gained enough insight that demands me to get a mobile application or a web application to use? Do you understand? So an MVP helps you to gain market demand. It helps you to validate your assumptions and helps you to drive user engagement. So I'll talk about user engagement. User engagement in product management or whatever term, there's what we call customer lifetime value. All right, it's called CLTV. So you get a pitch deck. Someone says we have 400,000 downloads. Cool. We have 50,000 subscribers. Nice. Those are numbers, right? To keep you very, very happy. How many people downloaded your app? 50K. Wow, nice. How much cash in your bank? Zero. Business, you're not you're not like a charity project. Business is for money, Abi. So customer lifetime value is what you measure that success of the 500K downloads you have, right? If 500K downloads cannot give you cannot translate into figures in your business, you're doing rubbish. That's the truth. Yeah, it's good for your pitch deck, or like if you want to raise 1 million, investor looks at it and like, cool. But if it's me that knows, how much are you making? You know, this is Nigeria, how much am I making? That's the major issue in business. So how much are you making? Do you understand? So lifetime value is customers spend 5 hours on your application. How much has that 5 hours translated to business? What's in your balance sheet? What is in your profit and loss account? Do you understand? So that's basically what user engagement is all about. So helps you to drive user engagement. So I'm almost done, right? We're talking about strategies for effective MVP development. Number one, prioritize features. Now, like I mentioned, a minimum viable product is not actually the minutest, right? How will I put it? People say if you want to launch an application, for example, now you put only your homepage, dashboard. You can put even the list of everything and it's still useless. You can put the most of everything and it's still useless. Do you understand? What you need to put is, what are those core features I want to use to learn the behavior of users? For example, if the major offering of my business for people to go to my system and order clothes, because I run an e-commerce system, so what I'm going to prioritize is the add to cart button, the payment feature, the catalog feature, right? Ability to people to list products, right? And then just the whole core user journey. That can be my MVP, right? I don't need to put a lot of aesthetics, put a lot of icons, put a lot of things. It can be more and useless, like I mentioned. It can be less and still very useless. So you need to actually prioritize the core features within your product that can help you learn the behavior of users and actually understand your business. For a startup, right? The major thing you need to know is that startup is a ghetto. You're running a business, a ghetto, right? And most legal tech solutions will start like startups. It's a ghetto. You have a low burn rate, right? What I mean like burn rate is most times you don't have investor funding, you're bootstrapping, right? So you need to basically understand that you need to learn about your business. So prioritize features, involve early adopters, have an iterative approach to refine your product. Now, I will talk about post MVP. You've launched your MVP. What will you do next? Right? One of them is to review, analyze user feedback using performance metrics, implement improvement based on insights and user needs, create a roadmap for future development, and continue to interact with users, and plan for a wider market launch. I'll just summarize into one point. A minimum viable product helps you to learn about your users. And when you've learned about your users, you need to get those insights and data. And those insights and data should help you manage your products, know about new features you need to build, know about the business strategy you need to implement. If you're using a freemium model, it doesn't work. Try subscription. If you're using a subscription model, try affiliate. If you're using affiliate, use a user-generated content. So these are a lot of avenues your MVP helps you to learn. And once you launch your MVP, you have enough insights to go for a full wider launch. And one thing you need to learn about MVP, the core things you learn about product management is that listening to your users. Listening to your users. They are the chief, you know, the customer is always right. Listen to your users, always be user-centric, employ design thinking, understand the wants, and always listen to your market. That's why I love Piggyverse. Piggyverse remains one of, I'll not say company people are not watching, but it remains one of the best app I've ever used. Why? Because we're using it as a program, and I get to see that these guys actually know what they are doing. Thank you.